We have a massive Jays trade update to go over today as multiple new reports have dropped surrounding the Jays trade plans, but also some interesting comments from John Schneider himself. Something big is brewing and the Jays are going all in. I'm going to break that down as well as discuss multiple other updates ahead of tonight's game against the Philadelphia Phillies. The Jays hopefully continue their hot streak. Before we get into it, folks, you guys' support has been unbelievable. If you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Jays content. Thank you guys for continued support. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. You guys have been absolute beasts here on the channel. Let's dive right into it. Now, obviously, the Jays are in a very good spot as it stands right now. Of course, we play the Phillies today, had an off day yesterday, 3 games above 500. This is the biggest series of the year thus far. It is a critical series, and reinforcements are, of course, coming in the form of injuries and things like that, which we'll have updates on later on in today's video. But ladies and gentlemen, we have some interesting things to discuss in today's episode, and it is surrounding a trade. And I want to dive into this right here because it is extremely interesting. And in Ben Nicholson-Smith's article from a couple days ago, they were talking about how the Jays are playing very good. They're hovering around the 500 mark. But I want to dive into one specific comment. I'm going to read this out first. At that point, of course, talking about both the trade deadline and just the way the Jays are right now, it'll be on the Jays to execute against a team that's struggling to push themselves above 500 for good. And of course, this article came out a few days ago, I believe 2 days ago, 3 days ago, before the sweep was official. With only 2 months remaining before the July 31st trade deadline, this is the best possible time for the Blue Jays to show the front office they're worthy of further reinforcements. Before the game, Schneider noted that the trade deadline is go or no time, and everyone in uniform wants the answer to be go. One lopsided win later, the Jays are a little closer to making that a reality. And ladies and gentlemen, this is of course from Ben Nicholson-Smith, but there's also some interesting comments from John Schneider in here. Folks, the Jays are going to be going all in, and I'm going to dive into a comment that Keegan Matheson made on my video yesterday, and he gave some interesting tidbits surrounding the trade deadline and what the Jays trade plans are. So if you haven't checked that out, check that out after you finish watching this video. It's very intriguing because, of course, there are a couple things here. One, John Schneider openly and publicly saying this is go time for the Toronto Blue Jays, and they have to, of course, convince the front office that they're going to be going all in. This is the last year under this front office, unless they get extended. And I mean, this is the best chance they've had by a long shot. The AL East is wide open. The wild card spot is absolutely wide open. 2 months remaining now, a bit less than 2 months until the trade deadline. And this is the time to show whether or not the Jays are worthy of making big moves. And it is absolutely go time. Now, you think about what Keegan Matheson said yesterday. I think they should go nuts at the deadline. I think this should be a big push in from the Blue Jays. It's time. And he goes on to basically say that at this juncture, with the AL East is wide open, this is the best chance the front office has had, and it's the last chance they have under this core to really go all in here. And we're talking about all in. There's going to be a lot of players, a lot of rumors, of course, things like that coming out. But this is at the point now where trades need to be coming. And again, 31st of July, that is a trade deadline. But for the Toronto Blue Jays, of course, this series against the Phillies is going to be critical, and series until then. This is the time now where if you're the Philadelphia Phillies, or the Jays, sorry, you need to take care of business against the Phillies. If you fail to do that, then of course you don't want to fall back down to the middling, 500 area. This is your time to make a push. If you win this series, you're going 4 or 5 games above 500, which is going to be absolutely critical here because the Toronto Blue Jays desperately need to go all in, and it's the best time to do so. And reporters, of course, Keegan Matheson on the show came out and said, this is the time to go all in. I think they should go nuts, and this should be a big push in, talking about prospects like Aurelvis Martinez, things like that. And I ultimately think Aurelvis is going to be one of the guys that leaves. And of course, Keegan Matheson in the video yesterday came out, essentially said that, again, it wasn't a report. He, I guess, speculates, or he thinks that Aurelvis Martinez, rather, would be, a guy that could be available for trade. He doesn't think they're going to trade Arjun Amala, Trey Savage, anyone like that. But he threw Elvis's name out there, but he also clarified it wasn't a report. This is more speculation. And I think as well, it is definitely speculation that it's not, but it's more than speculation now that the Jays are going to make big moves. But let me know down below what your thoughts are on this. Hearing it from the manager himself is very intriguing. Big trade update here. And they're going to be going all in if they can continue even a semblance of what they've been doing over the past few games. So let me know down below what your thoughts are. And let's dive into some updates because there's a big game tonight. Now, I want to touch on this, and this is from Keegan Matheson. Shout out to him; he's everywhere over the past few days. Also, shout out to his book that drops, I believe, today. So you can check that out and check out my video from yesterday with him. This team has been a bat away all year. If Addison Barger can be that bat, that's what changes a 500 team into a team that can win 90 games, and we have seen it picture perfect, folks. Picture perfect. When Addison Barger and the Jays get power and they have an impact bat, this team transforms into one of the, not an elite team, but a very good team. And when their bats are struggling heavily, specifically in the power department, then they start to falter under 500. And Addison Barger has been the biggest change to this team. And it's something that is just a clear need, was an impact bat. And they have gotten that in the form of Addison Barger. And that needs to continue tonight. It needs to continue into the rest of the season. One of their biggest additions they could have had was Addison Barger turning into a star in front of our eyes. And ultimately, that's what we're seeing right now. We are seeing a star in front of our eyes. And that's what's going to turn this team into a team where at the deadline, they go all in. They push their chips in. They're a half game back of the wild card spot right now. They are looking very, very good. Very, not elite yet, but the offense is turning into a very good team, and hopefully that can continue as well. Ernie Clement, I mean, in his game and series against the Athletics, he's been one of the hottest players in baseball with a near 2,000 OPS. The team is just rolling, folks. It's simple as that. And you look at the most, hard hit balls of the year. Bichette's number 2 in the MLB. You have Vladdy with, number 4 with 97. The results are going to start to follow for these two as well. Bo laced a ton of balls against the Athletics. If we get some BABIP luck and Kevin Gausman, in the game 4 against the Athletics, Gausman was getting destroyed with unluckiness, right? And they still won the game. They need to take care of, controlling. You're not going to get easy pitching against the Phillies. It's just not going to happen. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm feeling fired up. And also, of course, George Springer, quick update on him following the game a couple days ago. George Springer tweaked his left ankle, so he was testing it while hopping at third base per John Schneider. I don't think that was really fully the case. I think he got out because he was celebrating, but it is what it is. Springer had it taped up, and he's believed to be fine per Schneider. Hopefully, he's going to be okay, right? Hopefully, he's going to be in the lineup tonight. He's been swinging the bat well. It's great for there to be fun baseball for the first time in a while. I'm being excited for Jays baseball is obviously super exciting. Let me know down below a couple things. Who you think the Jays are going to trade for and who you want to kind of see them bring in, but also what your thoughts are on the updates. Because looking at the starting pitcher, you have Bowden Francis tonight. If you get this win tonight with Bowden Francis in the bump, the worst starter of the Jays bunch right now, aside from, of course, depending if you put Eric Lauer in there and Easton Lucas. José Berríos Wednesday, Chris Bassett Thursday. Full confidence in both of those guys. Bowden Francis tonight, going to be an interesting one. The Phillies are on fire. Usually, I mean, whether or not they're on a hot or low streak, it obviously depends. But, right now, the Jays need to take care of business against the Phillies. It's going to be, if they come out and they win this series against the Phillies, then you can say it's not just bad teams, that the Jays are beating up on, which they deserve to beat up on some bad teams simply because of how they had a really, really rough schedule for the first little bit there. But you're going up against a Phillies team that is very good offensively, just very good overall. But the Phillies have lost 4 straight games heading into this one. They're still, 15 games, something like that, above 500. They've lost 4 straight. So this is a good time for the Jays to take on the Phillies. And hopefully, Bowden Francis can take care of business tonight, folks. Folks, vibes are good. Vibes are good. Vibes are high. And let me know down below what your thoughts are on all of this. We're going to keep you up to date with everything Toronto Blue Jays related. You guys have been absolute beasts. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.